the skirt ripped totally, like a lot, from here to here. It ripped open because the corset itself that is going on the body, it is very stiff and it is made much more bigger than the model's waist and hip size. So on the waist, the smallest size is being reduced from 68 to 65, but the hips, I added the hips more and put boning into the hip area so that the model will have a bit of a bump, a bit of a shape, because the model had no shape. Now I'm putting it on the corset, and I just realized that actually I should have been using the corset measurement, which will have meant that I need to pad for this specific design, which is a pin skirt. I'll have needed to pad the plastic mannequin, which is virtually impossible because I will need some, I don't know what sort of padding I would have needed, but I don't have any of those sort of padding, like maybe if I had some thin foam or something, I could be able to put a thin foam and wrap it with sellotape, but I don't have foam of that quantity or that sort of shape. But anyway, so this is the way to look now finally on the model. My bustle skirt, very pretty, very well done, and it's just seamless, streamlined everywhere, which means that now I can start designing this skirt. This skirt I've already made design. Now I'm going to cut it out. So it's going to be a whole panel which is going to stand 20 centimeters off, and it's a whole piece, like a princess line piece with the bodies. That's why I needed to put it here so that I can start measuring and cutting my pattern. So it's going to be 90 degrees and come off, and it's going to stand with the aid of this paper. I've got the white one of it. So this is a iron-on super stay fabric. With this one, is going to be able to stay on the free edge. I think 20 centimeters is a generous free edge, which is not too little and it's not too much. The hump itself is about 12 centimeters. Yes, the hump is 12 centimeters, so 20 is just this much off, which I think is not too bad. It is so that when it comes here, I could make it 18. Maybe 18 is better. If I make it 18, it means that this section will be visible. But if I make it 20, then it means it will stand, because they have more than half of it is here. It's just 6 centimeters or even less than 6 centimeters is on the free edge, which is nothing, because this section here is more than that 20 centimeters. As you can see, it's more than 20 centimeters. I made specially bend this one in so that it will be inside, so we can put the frills and all the fanciness that I've planned to put. I originally wanted normal frills, then I wanted to put frills and some on the sides, like curtains. Then I wanted to make a smoke, but then I decided smoke is taking papers a lot of fabric. Then I wanted to make side pleats like this here, which I thought is also going to take a lot. This is the original design, which is just pleats, smaller and bigger pleats, which I think is a bit very boring and simple. So after looking through my other designs, I realized I can make some flat panels. I can make a pleat with a center hold of a ribbon or something over a plain fabric. I can make a pleated bow held by a also like a center hold pleat with a ribbon, and I could echo it over the corset back, which is not going to be opening because the opening is in front. So it means I can play around and put frills and stuff at the back here to make it nice, to look this whole thing to look like a bird kind of design. No, this is an animal design. But at least I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4 panels to paint on. Then this center panel where I can paint on with the frill on the bottom, framing it. And then here I can have a 20 centimeter panel to paint on. And then in front, according to my calculation, it will be approximately 14 centimeters if I'm going to leave a 5 centimeter gap. So it'll be like 4-5 centimeter, very tiny, small gap, not too small, not too big. So I'm going to have a 14 centimeter base panel to play with, which I can nicely shape up. I'm thinking of maybe even making like a scallop or something, some nice shape, because I've gone through several shapes for the top of my corset, and I've decided that this is the most beautiful one, which is going to look somewhat like this in the side view. It's going to go all the way to the bust, or like middle of the bust, and then this one is just going to be capped. The corset is gonna be capped up with however the design is going to be. So this is it. So now I'm going to start cutting the bodice and the skirt. I've decided my skirt should be knee height, which is 50 centimeters, just slightly above the knee. So I'm going to make it 45, and then I'm going to put frills to complete the 5 centimeter extra. And I'm going to do that sort of thing all around the whole outfit. So I'm generously going to cut it to 50 centimeter and then trim the whole thing once I've finished assembling and stitching everything. So that's the design.